Most students do not know how to begin writing a descriptive essay because they do not know how to structure it. So that's what we're going to be learning today. Welcome to English Step by Step. My name is Miss Wee, and we will be doing descriptive writing 1 because there will be 2, 3, and so on. So like I said, we'll be doing the structure of descriptive writing today. There are 4 types of order that we can have. First, spatial order, chronological order, order of importance, and sensory order. We will start with the first one. So the first one is spatial order. So spatial order organizes details based on their physical location or layout. This is especially useful for describing places, objects, or scenes. So for example, if describing a room, you might start by describing what's near the door, then move to other parts of the room in a logical flow. So it may be left to right, top to bottom, or front to back. So here are some example questions. So in May, June 2023, paper 2-1, there was this question, describe a shop you remember visiting in the past. So this would be done in spatial order. Another one, write a description of an untidy room. So you may also want to do this in spatial order. This was from May, June 2023, paper 2-2. Then we have describe a busy workplace. This is from October, November 2021. Describe the inside of an interesting shop. Write a description of a place where animals are kept in captivity. So any of these, we would use spatial order. So here's an example. Write a description of an untidy room. Upon entering the room, the disarray is immediately evident, with clutter and chaos taking over every corner. Starting at the entrance, shoes are haphazardly strewn near the door, some overturned, others in mismatched pairs, creating a tripping hazard. Next to the door, a coat rack leans slightly, weighed down by a pile of jackets and scarves draped carelessly, with a few pieces spilling onto the floor. Moving further into the room to the left, a large unmade bed dominates the space. The sheets are tangled in a messy heap, half hanging off the edge, while pillows are scattered, some on the bed, others on the floor. A wrinkled blanket is bunched up at the foot of the bed, as if hastily tossed aside. Above the bed, the walls are cluttered with posters and pictures, many of them askew, some barely clinging to the wall. Next to the bed, a bedside table groans under the weight of empty water bottles, crumpled tissues, and several books stacked haphazardly. A lamp with a crooked shade sits in one corner, while a phone charger dangles precariously off the edge, tangled with a pair of earphones. The drawer is half open, revealing a chaotic jumble of papers and miscellaneous items spilling out. As the eye moves across the room, the floor is a maze of clothes, t-shirts, jeans, and socks from a patchwork on the carpet, some in small piles, others just scattered across the room. A hamper sits against the far wall, overflowing with laundry, while more clothes drape over the back of a nearby chair, creating a small amount of fabric. To the right, a desk is barely visible beneath the clutter. Papers, notebooks, and pens are strewn across its surface, along with old coffee mugs and snack wrappers. The chair in front of the desk is buried under a jacket and a bag, making it nearly impossible to sit. Finally, near the window, the curtains hang unevenly, with one side pulled higher than the other. Dust gathers on the windowsill, which is cluttered with trinkets, empty bottles, and an old wilted plant in a pot. The room is a picture of neglect, with every surface serving as a reminder of the mess that has accumulated over time. So let's have a look at the order. So this is spatial order. We started with the entrance, with the shoes and the coat rack, and then the left side of the room with the unmade bed and posters and pictures on the wall. And then beside the bed, you have a bedside table and a half-open drawer. And then the floor with clothes scattered around and an overflowing laundry hamper. And then on the right side of the room, we have a desk and a chair. And then finally near the window with the curtains and the windowsill. Next, we're going to move on to chronological order. Describes events or changes over time in the order they occurred. This structure is often used for describing events, experiences, or processes. So when describing a day at the beach, you might start with the morning, then move through the day, ending with the sunset. Here are some example questions. Write a description with the title, The Performer. Write the experience of seeing an animal. Describe a group of people meeting for the first time after a long separation. Describe the preparations you make for an important journey. Write a description of a group of people who have become stuck somewhere. So here's an example essay. Describe a group of people meeting for the first time after a long separation. The meeting began in a quiet park on a cool, sunny afternoon. As the first person arrived, the air was filled with a mix of excitement and nervousness. It had been years since the group had last been together, and the anticipation hung in the air. Soon, another familiar face appeared at the park's entrance, and with a wave, they rushed towards each other. The initial hesitation gave way to wide smiles and a tight hug, as if no time had passed at all. They exchanged a few words, but the real joy was in the shared silence of just being in each other's company again. Minutes later, more friends trickled in, one by one. Each arrival brought the same sequence of emotions. First, the moment of recognition, then the smiles that stretched wide with nostalgia, and finally the embraces, sometimes accompanied by laughter or playful teasing. I can't believe it's really you, echoed throughout the park as old memories came flooding back. As the group formed, the reunion truly began. They naturally fell into a circle, a little awkward at first as everyone adjusted to the presence of those who had been absent from their daily lives for so long. Faces had changed. There were new haircuts. Some had glasses now. A few had aged. But the essence of each person was unmistakably familiar. The conversation started slowly, with small talk about work, life, and the usual polite questions, but it didn't take long for the atmosphere to shift. Gradually, someone cracked a joke about an old inside story, and the group erupted into laughter. The awkwardness melted away, and soon they were talking over each other, as if trying to make up for all the lost time. The years of separation faded, replaced by the camaraderie they had once had. They reminisced about past adventures, their youthful mischief, and the countless shared moments that had defined their friendship. As the sun began to set, they realized how much time had passed. The energy slowed, and the conversation shifted to more heartfelt matters. They spoke about what had changed in their lives, the highs and lows they had faced without each other, and how much it meant to be together again. The reunion, once filled with nervousness, ended with a sense of warmth, connection, and the promise that it wouldn't be the last time. So let's look at the order. So this started with the initial arrival, the first person, and then another, and then the gradual gathering. Others began to arrive. Formation of the group, so they form a circle, and there are changes in appearance. And then there is small talk, there's conversation, breaking of ice, somebody cracks a joke, and then there's deeper connection. So they discuss more heartfelt matters, and then there's a conclusion. So the reunion ends on a warm note, and they promise to see each other again. Next, we're going to move on to the order of importance. Arranges details from least to most important or vice versa, helping to build up to the most vivid or impactful description. You might describe the minor features of a person's appearance first, then build up to the most striking features like their eyes or smile. Or you might want to do it the other way around. Example questions: describe a place that is special to you. Describe a person who has had a significant influence on your life. Describe a festival or event you attended. Describe a time when you were in a busy place. So an example: describe a place that is special to you. The most important and defining aspect of the old seaside cottage is the overwhelming sense of peace it brings. Nestled on the edge of a quiet, secluded beach, the cottage is a haven of calm. As soon as one steps onto the weathered wooden porch, the rush of daily life seems to fade away. The only sounds that greet visitors are the rhythmic crashing of waves against the shore and the gentle rustling of wind through the tall grasses. It's as if the world slows down here, inviting anyone who enters to breathe deeply and simply exist in the moment. Next to that feeling of serenity is the way the cottage embraces nature. The windows, large and open, frame views of the endless ocean stretching out toward the horizon. Sunlight floods the room in the early morning, casting a golden glow across the rustic furniture. Seagulls often glide by, their calls adding a soothing background melody to the peacefulness inside. The air always smells of salt and fresh seaweed, a reminder of the untamed beauty just steps away. Every aspect of the cottage feels in harmony with the surrounding environment, making it impossible to forget the presence of the sea. The third most significant element of of this place is its history. The cottage has been in the family for generations, passed down from grandparents to parents, and now cherished by children. Every corner of the house holds a memory. The kitchen, with its worn wooden countertops, is where countless family dinners have been prepared. The dining table, slightly uneven from years of use, has witnessed both quiet breakfasts and lively conversations during summer vacations. Even the walls, adorned with old photographs and paintings of the sea, carry stories of those who have visited over the decades. This sense of heritage creates a deep connection to the past, making the cottage more than just a place. It is a living testament to family bonds. Lastly, what makes this cottage truly special is its simplicity. There are no modern luxuries here. The rooms are small, the furniture mismatched, and the decor humble. But this simplicity is what makes it a sanctuary. It strips away the distortions of the outside world, leaving space for reflection, connection, and peace, a rare treasure in the fast pace of modern life. So the order of this description follows the order of importance. It starts with a sense of peace and serenity, and then the connection with nature, and then history and family heritage, and lastly, simplicity of the cottage. Sorry about this one. Okay, lastly, we're going to do sensory order. Focuses on descriptions based on the five senses. So you have sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and taste. So each paragraph can emphasize a different sense. For example, in describing a garden, one paragraph might focus on the colors and shapes, another on the sounds of birds and rustling leaves and so on. So the British spelling of color should be COLOUR. Sorry about this. So example questions. Describe a city street in very bad weather. Describe a description with the title The Beach by Night. Describe your favorite season. Describe a bustling marketplace. So we have here the beach by night. The beach at night feels like stepping into a different world where the usual chaos of the day gives way to serene, almost mystical atmosphere. The first thing that greets you is the rhythmic crash of waves hitting the shore, more pronounced in the quiet darkness. Each wave rolls in with a deep, thunderous hum, followed by the gentle hiss as the water retreats back into the ocean. Occasionally, the call of a distant seagull can be heard, echoing through the night air, adding to the sense of solitude. Moving closer to the shore, the smell of the sea becomes stronger, carried on the cool breeze that sweeps in from the water. The salty tang of the ocean fills the lungs, fresh and invigorating, blending with the faint scent of seaweed and damp sand. There's something purifying about the scent at night, more crisp and distinct, as if the darkness heightens every sensory detail. As your feet sink into the cool, grainy sand, a different kind of sensation takes over. The sand, no longer sun-warmed, feels cool against the skin, soft and damp beneath each step. Occasionally, the water laps against the ankles, startlingly cold yet refreshing. The night air is cool too, with a slight bite to it, contrasting sharply with the warmth of the day. The breeze whips gently, brushing against the skin like a soft caress, causing goosebumps to rise as it intertwines with the steady rhythm of the ocean's waves. The moon hangs low in the sky, casting a silvery light that reflects off the surface of the water. Each ripple of the ocean glistens in the moonlight, turning the sea into a shimmering, undulating mirror. The horizon is a shadowy line, barely distinguishable in the distance, while the stars twinkle faintly above like tiny pinpricks of light in the velvet sky. The beach itself is almost unrecognizable at night, dark and mysterious, the familiar landmarks now mere silhouettes. The quiet stillness is broken only by the gentle flow of a nearby pier, its lights flickering against the black backdrop. The taste of the ocean lingers faintly on the lips, a salty reminder of the sea's vastness. With each breath, the senses are awakened, fully immersed in the quiet yet powerful beauty of the beach by night. So let's look at the order. So it starts with the sound of the waves, okay, followed by smell, so the salty scent of the sea, touch, so the sensation of the cool sand, the sight, so we have the moonlight, etc., and the stars, and taste, so the taste of salt lingering on the lips. So what's important to note is that there can be more than one way of describing something. So for example, describe a bustling marketplace. I'm going to show you how it's done in 4 different orders. So this is the bustling marketplace done in spatial order. I will not read it to you, otherwise this video is going to be too long. If you want to read it, please pause the video to read it. But you can see that it starts at the entrance and then it moves to the heart of the market, and then it goes to the right of the market and then to the far end of the market. So you can see very quickly already that is in spatial order. Let's move on to the next one. This is chronological order. So again, if you want to read it, please pause the video to read it. But you can see that it starts at dawn and then the morning progresses. And then here we have midday and then here afternoon. So you can see that is in chronological or time order. Next, we have order of importance. So we start with the most remarkable feature and then the second and then next and then lastly. Here we have sensory order, and you can see that we're starting with the sense of hearing. So all the sounds will be here, followed by sight, color, and everything. And then we have smell. After that, we have feel. And then do we have taste? So we have the 5 senses here. The last thing that I want to do with you is the key differences between narrative and descriptive writing. If you haven't watched my video on narrative writing, please do so. In that video, I highlighted the plot or the structure of the narrative essay, which is beginning, build up, climax, resolution, and then ending. In the descriptive essay, you will not have this. You will not have conflict. So you will not need to build it up to a climax and resolve it, etc. Instead, we will follow one of the orders that we did today. In narrative writing, you need to have a main character or a few, conflict, and perhaps dialogue as well. In descriptive writing, we are more interested in descriptive language, which includes literary devices, showing and not telling, using your five senses, sensory details, and so on. At the end of a narrative essay, you may want to include a moral lesson, but in descriptive writing, we're more interested in evoking emotions. So here we have the one that we wrote earlier, The Beach by Night. And here we have a narrative. Again, I'm not going to read it to you. You can pause the video to have a look, but I would just highlight the structure. So here we have sensory order. So we have the sound, the crash of the waves, and then the smell, and then the feel, and then the sight, and the taste. So this is a descriptive essay. And here we have a narrative essay. This is the beginning, the build up, the climax, resolution, and ending. So the structures are very different. So you must make sure that you use the right structure. If it's a narrative question, you must have a plot. If it's a descriptive essay, you must make sure that you have an appropriate structure. That's all for now. I hope that you have found this video useful, and if so, please like and subscribe because that encourages me to make more videos like this. I plan to make some more videos, and the next one will probably be on literary devices that you will need for both narrative and descriptive writing. I will also be doing some directed writing and all of these as well. So please subscribe and get notified. Here are some of my older videos. If you haven't watched them, please go ahead and look for them. Here is a little bit about my background. And if you want tutoring, please contact me here. Thank you. And leave any questions you have at the comment section below.